Fast forward to 2009, I was working in a drug treatment facility, ironically enough, doing administrative work, high on meth, 99% of the time. I actually had that job for about 2 years. And to me, it was really important to continue working. I was what you would call a functioning addict. It was the one thing in my life that I still had control over. And to me, as long as I was working, then I wasn't completely out of control, which is a lie because my life had completely spiraled out of control. But to me, being able to have control over that one thing in my life meant so much to me. There was a counselor there that had her suspicions about me possibly being on drugs. And she shared that with the owner, I think several times. The owner and I were actually really close, and she just really didn't listen to her until one day she decided to do a sweeping UA for all of the employees that work there. And obviously, I failed the drug test miserably. I was so embarrassed, so ashamed. I couldn't deny it anymore because it was what it was. She was so angry at me and felt like I had betrayed her. She was right. I had been lying to her for 2 years. She offered to let me go to a drug treatment facility or lose my job. And I did not want to lose my job. So I agreed to go. She actually wrote a check from her personal account for me to go for thousands of dollars and dropped me off at this place in the middle of nowhere. I ended up staying for 5 days. It was a long 5 days. I had a counselor assigned to me. And I remember trying to talk to her about my withdrawal symptoms. And she told me that those who withdraw from methamphetamine don't have withdrawal symptoms. It was all in my head. That's not true, obviously. And I just did not feel supported at all there. My anxiety was through the roof. There was about, 50 girls there. Most of them didn't want to be there because they were court ordered to be there. Or the others were in the streets most of the time. This was just like a mini vacation for them to get away. I really didn't find anyone that I could relate to. And so I called my friend and asked him to come pick me up. He said that he would. And so I went and packed my things. My counselor found out that I was packing my things and wanted to do an exit interview with me. I agreed. And so we're sitting there talking, and she was asking me, so what are you going to do now? You can't go back to your job, and nobody's going to hire you because you're not going to be able to pass a drug test. And honestly, I hadn't even really thought about that. I just wanted to get out of there and get high. So I sat there for a minute and thought about what she had asked me. And I looked her straight in the eye. I was not being sarcastic. I was not trying to be funny. I looked at her and I said, I guess my only option is to become a drug dealer. And after I left there, that's exactly what I did to support my habit. I became a drug dealer. So my friend came and picked me up. I was rather disappointed that he didn't have any meth on him at the time. And I honestly don't remember what happened after that, but I know that my number one agenda was to find meth and to get high. And as soon as I did, the anxiety went away and everything was normal to me again because my addiction had become normal to me. This was not the first time that I had tried to get clean. A few years prior, I also tried on my own. I remember my best girlfriends / drug addicts were actually really supportive of me. I decided to stop on a Friday. Wasn't the best day to decide to choose to stop because it stays in your system for a few days. And once it's out of your system, I think is when you really start to have the issues. And I had to go to work on Monday. I went to work on Monday. I could not function. I could not do my job. My brain had grown accustomed to functioning at that overdrive, high-speed level that when I didn't have meth in my system, I couldn't function at all. I'll tell you that throughout my addiction, I wanted to be clean. I wanted to be normal. I wanted to feel normal. I wanted to be able to function without drugs. No one ever wakes up one day and says, I want to become a drug addict. That doesn't happen, right? Like circumstances lead you there. And the way that your brain works even contributes to that, as well as maybe your family history contributes to you getting yourself into a position where you become a drug addict. Never in my life did I ever think that I would be one. I had this preconceived notions of what drug addicts were and how they got there. And then that became me. And my perception completely changed. It can be anyone at any time that gets caught up in that and becomes a drug addict. My name's Amanda, and my hope is that through sharing my story of addiction, that you'll be able to find the inspiration and motivation for that life that is waiting for you on the other side.